Sledgehammer had to step in twice with a Nerf hammer originally. The bar fired rather quickly for an automatic in this game. It killed in 3 to 4 shots from all ranges with no recoil. And sure, the mag was small, but in a game like COD World War II, where the time to kill was generally longer because of the all-around lower fire rates, it was too good. Every Call of Duty has a gun or two that is way too good, and it ends up having to be patched. It happens every time. It's become even more common as gaming becomes more structured and developers, well, they have more access to their games post-release. But what were the most patch-worthy guns in COD history? What were the guns that were so good they actually broke the game? What is up, everybody? Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Do me a favor, turn those post notifications on so you can join the Team Chaos notification squad. And today, we are going to be checking out my picks for the most busted gun in every single Call of Duty. Some of which were patched, and some that you can actually still use today. Let me know which gun you think broke the game the most, and as always, these are powered by Scuff Gaming. If you get anything from Scuff, whether it be your new Dream Controller, merch, accessories, anything, use promo code Chaos. Link is in the description. Now, let's start with COD 4. Of course, the M16A4. It's an obvious one, but we need to get it out of the way. One of COD 4's starting weapons was statistically the best in the game, and it generated a ton of salt, even more when the remaster came out and the community was bigger. The M16, it was nice. 3-round burst rifle, could kill in just 2 bullets. You didn't even need the third from any distance, while firing at 937 rounds per minute, giving it one of the fastest times to kill in COD history. Now, the M16 was insane, and it was given to you as one of your default classes. It said, here, you can have it right out of the gate, just to rub salt in the wound. Now, unlike many other guns on this list, the M16, it was never patched because, well, it was 2007, and patching console games wasn't as easy back then. Another obvious one at World at War was the MP40. It's an easy pick, and you can still experience it today because it was never, ever nerfed. The MP40 in World at War is one of the most infamous SMGs in COD history, and that is due to its ease of use and its absurd damage output. It fired at 535 rounds per minute, which that sounds pretty slow, right? But it hit for 59 damage, people, with no stopping power. It would decrease down to 29 at long range, making it an SMG that would kill in 2 shots, 2 bullets, and 4 shots from across the map. So what does this mean? Well, it meant you could use double tap instead, which cranked up the fire rate to 711 rounds per minute, and you could throw on the sexy drum mag and give yourself a 64-round magazine and just spray away until your thumbsticks broke. The MP40 was hands down the best gun in World at War, and nobody will ever change my mind on that matter. Here's where it gets crazy. We're talking about breaking games, okay? Modern Warfare 2, the Akimbo Model 1887s. Now, we're really getting into the busted ones. Now, the whole game was broke, okay? It was. All the way around. It was trying to do so much in a limited development, and there were legal issues that happened at launch, all that good stuff. A lot of stuff never got fixed, but one thing that did get fixed was the Model 1887, which had this weird bug when you used it in akimbo form. Everybody knows, the lever action shotgun that you could dual wield and snipe people from across the map, and something got screwed up in the damage drop off. Shotguns in video games normally do a ton of damage up close, but then the damage drops off after 10 meters or so, and then the pellets eventually disappear. Well, on launch day, when you use the Model 1887s in akimbo mode, something got screwed up and the pellets never actually did that. They would carry their full damage profile for dozens of meters, which allowed you to snipe people with a massive spread. It was broken. And it sucks. This was back in 2009 before gaming videos were big on YouTube, because the footage of it is actually kind of hard to find. But if you dig deep on YouTube, you can find it and you will see what I'm talking about. Definitely the most broken thing in Modern Warfare 2. And that's saying something. We've reached Black Ops, the vanilla FAMAS. Now, a lot of people forget that the FAMAS actually had to be nerfed at one point in the original Black Ops. You wouldn't really guess that because even to this day, it's the best gun in the game. The FAMAS was a super fast-firing assault rifle that killed in 3 shots up close and 4 shots at range, which made it the fastest-killing automatic gun in the game, even more than SMGs. And it was an assault rifle. Now, the main trade-off for the damage profile was the recoil, which is very high even to today's standards. But back on launch day, well, it wasn't the case. The vanilla FAMAS had significantly lower recoil and much faster handling speeds, which made it seriously feel like a submachine gun with the range of an assault rifle. It was busted. Thankfully, Treyarch caught it and nerfed the handling and a recoil a little way into the game, but since the damage profile was kept the same, Well, the FAMAS still dominated multiplayer, and it still does to this day. So if you think the FAMAS spam is annoying today, be thankful you didn't deal with it if you were around on launch week. Now we've arrived at Modern Warfare 3. Who remembers, raise your hand, the Vanilla Striker? It was actually a tough choice for MW3 because I was debating between the Vanilla Striker and the Vanilla FMG9s, which were both pretty busted on launch day. However, when taking the ease of use into the account, I think the Striker takes the cake. It was a semi-automatic shotgun that appeared in Modern Warfare 2, but it wasn't special. Everybody forgot about it. A lot of people didn't know it was there. But in Modern Warfare 3, it was buffed like you wouldn't believe. Had a 12-shell magazine, 18 with extended mags, people, a fire rate cap of 352 rounds per minute, and an extremely generous one-shot kill range. It was basically the brecci from Black Ops 3, but it could one-shot. Now, the reason for this was because on launch day, the Striker fired 9 pellets with each shell, making the damage profile extremely exploitable, especially if you were using steady aim. Now, statistically, the Striker was hands down the best shotgun in Modern Warfare 3, and a few months after launch, Infinity Ward finally gave in and nerfed it. They decreased the pellet count from 9 to 6, which toned down the damage. Today, it's a somewhat annoying spam shotgun, but back during launch, the Striker was completely broken. When I say a brecci that could one-shot, I mean that, truly. Black Ops 2. It shouldn't surprise anybody, but a lot of people may not remember because it got nerfed fast. The FAL OSW. If you were playing BO2 back in the day, you know the FAL was broken. It was a semi-automatic rifle. It dealt between 40 and 55 damage with a 1.2 times headshot multiplier, meaning it could deal up to 66 damage with one bullet. Now, it also had good handling speeds, a fire rate cap of 625 rounds per minute, and no recoil. The time to kill on the FAL was insane, and it was easy to use. It arguably made it the best gun in the game. It had to be nerfed once or twice until Treyarch just threw up their hands, said screw it, and banned it from competitive play. Now, that, my friends, is the definition of a broken gun. When the devs would rather just delete a gun from the sandbox instead of patching it, you know things were broken. Next up is Call of Duty Ghosts. The vanilla MSBS. Now, I've said before that Ghosts was a relatively well-balanced game, but it was after this nerf. If you played Ghosts during the first week, you know how strong this gun was, and it was nerfed ridiculously hard. It was a 3-round burst assault rifle. It launched with 2-shot kill potential just like the M16 from COD 4. It had good handling, had a burst fire speed of almost 900 rounds per minute, and it was actually pretty much the COD 4 M16. After a couple weeks, it was nerfed into the ground. The accuracy was dramatically toned down, the handling speeds were worse, and the range was less forgiving, and they took the fire rate down to 895 rounds per minute. It doesn't sound like a lot, but for a burst weapon, it was a huge time to kill reduction. It was a massive nerf, and the game got a lot better after this patch, but the vanilla MSBS was absurd. And anybody who played Ghost back in the day, you will back me up on this. Advanced Warfare. The vanilla BAL 27 Obsidian Steed. I mean, come on. The BAL 27 default naked gun was ridiculous on its own, but then we put in the Obsidian Steed, my goodness, okay? Now, on its own, the gun was a fast-firing assault rifle that killed in 3 to 4 shots with no recoil, and it was one of the first guns you got your hands on, so it was spammed. Then to make matters worse, let's get the elite variant in the Steed. Sped up the handling speeds, increased the minimum damage, making it a 3-shot kill pretty much anywhere, and it was ridiculous. Many people called this gun overpowered, and they were correct. Now, Sledgehammer nerfed it a couple times, but it never really fixed the problem. The original Obsidian Steed was straight up broken, and today, it's still overpowered. We talked about it earlier. The Black Ops 3 205 brecci. No surprise, it still baffles me that Treyarch thought this gun was acceptable to put in the game in the first place, but what baffles me even more is they still have not nerfed it while I'm making this video. The brecci was a semi-automatic shotgun with a huge mag, ridiculous range, good fire rate, and a massive hitbox. You mix all those things into a pot, and you've got arguably the most overpowered gun ever put in a Treyarch game. You just run around hip-firing the brecci and get kill after kill after kill without ever having to reload because some genius thought it was a good idea to give it a 17-round magazine. People also, they use modded controllers, the jitter mods or whatever, to crank up the fire rate even higher. It made the gun even more broken. Now, the modded controller issue was largely fixed a little way down the line, but the gun itself was never truly nerfed. If you boot up BO3 today, you're still going to run into brecci lobbies everywhere. Infinite Warfare, the vanilla Proteus. Despite being such a massive oversight at IW, this gun went largely under the radar in the COD community due to it being an Infinite Warfare. It was a shotgun sniper hybrid that was added to the game a few months into its lifespan. It was pretty average in sniper mode, but it was broken in shotgun mode. Something was wrong with the range drop-off on the Proteus, which made the pellets travel forever while still carrying a decent amount of damage. This meant You could go into hardcore, run around hip firing, and literally cross-map people with a single shot. It had an aimbot built into it on launch day in all essence, okay? Now, Infinity Ward caught it pretty quick and they patched it, but not before the internet got plenty of footage of it. Now we've reached Call of Duty World War II, the vanilla bar. Now, the bar has always been a pretty major talking point in the COD World War II community, mainly because it was overpowered on launch day. It was the last rifle you unlocked, which was good. Because of how long it took you to get your hands on it, you didn't see it for a few days after launch. It was hidden. Once people started getting it, there was a problem. Sledgehammer had to step in twice with a Nerf hammer. Originally, the bar fired rather quickly for an automatic in this game. It killed in 3 to 4 shots from all ranges with no recoil. And sure, the mag was small, but in a game like COD World War II, where the time to kill was generally longer because of the all-around lower fire rates, it was too good. The bar got nerfed twice in 2 weeks as a result, decreasing the fire rate, widening the hip fire spread, and increasing the recoil. But those that played COD World War II in the first few weeks know just how strong this thing was. Black Ops 4, the vanilla Titan. It was stupid. It still kind of is. The LMGs have been a bit of a problem in the last couple Treyarch games, mainly because they handle quickly. They don't have any recoil. They're like pocket assault rifles. Case in point, the Black Ops 4 Titan. It was painfully overpowered at launch, and it took Treyarch 4 months to actually nerf it. It was your starting LMG. It came with a 75 round mag by default, which you could increase all the way to 150 with extended mags 1 and 2. It fired relatively quickly. It tore through cover and armor. It killed in 3 to 4 shots from pretty much distance, and it had no recoil. It was absurd in the first few months, and you wouldn't find a lobby where people weren't spamming it. It was finally nerfed in February of 2019, but even after that patch, it was still strong. It wasn't quite as broken, but it's still the best LMG in the game. And finally, we've reached Modern Warfare 2019. Oh, the Vanilla 725. Absolutely broken when the game came out, and while it's been nerfed a few times, and it's nowhere near its former glory, it's still a good shotgun. It's a double-barrel, Olympia-style shotgun. It was pretty average in the beta, but when the full game came out, well, IW cranked up the damage and made it hands down the best gun in the game. It had great handling, it always killed with one single shot up close, and it almost always killed in one shot at mid-range. It could two-tap at longer ranges, and it's a shotgun. Hardcore modes, it was broke. The M4725 combo was the go-to combo for over a month after the game came out, and honestly, it took way too long for IW to patch it. People were calling this gun the new Model 1887s from Modern Warfare 2. If you played back in the day, I can't disagree with the comparison. The gun shouldn't have shipped like that in the game, let alone taken that long to patch. It was definitely the most broken gun in Modern Warfare 2019. And there you have it, my friends. That's the most broken gun in every single Call of Duty from COD 4 to MW 2019. Let me know where I got it right. Let me know where I got it wrong, and I'll see you soon.